Deputy President David Mabuza yesterday undertook a site visit to the Emfuleni Municipality to assess service delivery problems there. The municipality, which is currently under administration, is battling with sewage spills and poor infrastructure, among many, many other issues. The state of Gauteng's dysfunctional municipalities is in fact the subject of a recent report by a committee of inquiry chaired by Trevor Fowler, a professor at the Wits School of Governance. In fact, Trevor joins us now via our video link in Johannesburg. Trevor, a very good morning to you. Thanks very much for your time this morning. I'm just reading through some of the detail that, what people are describing they have to live with every day. This is a resident in Emfuleni. She says she has sewage flowing from her toilet and her kitchen sink every single day.
Yes, Michelle, good morning. The situation in Emfuleni is a serious problem. What has happened is that they have not been repairing and maintaining their pumps and stations across the municipality. And as a consequence, they have sewage that is running into the Vaal River, which is in fact a source of water for all the residents of Gauteng and some of the residents of the Northwest. So indeed, it is a serious problem.
I don't understand, Trevor, because, it's not the Deputy President's visit to the area yesterday. I'm not sure what it was meant to do aside from, once again, allaying people's, shall we call them concerns for lack of a much, much stronger term, around the way they are being forced to live in so many areas in the Vaal when there is no real update on changing their everyday reality.
Well, there is a Section 139 intervention that the province of Gauteng has put in place. Because what they had found is that the money from Treasury that's given to the municipality is being diverted for other items as opposed to what it was intended for. So that's one of the key issues that the Gauteng Treasury has found.
Yeah.
And the key challenge is they've had several changes in their leadership, in their municipal administrative leadership. They've now appointed a municipal manager who hopefully will be able to get to the bottom of how to address this administrative insecurity that has been existing there for some time.
Yeah.
Since 2015, there's been a downward slide that is very clear, and we have said to the provincial government, the Department of Gauteng, that a coordinated approach and support has to be given to ensure that these things are addressed. Because it's not sufficient just to hold people accountable for compliance, but it's also about leadership and ensuring that there is leadership to change the things that are going wrong. And in fact, in Emfuleni, there would have to be some sacrifices by the administration in terms of diverting money to priorities. And some of those priorities is repairing the infrastructure.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to hone in on this committee of inquiry report that you chaired, Trevor, and it talks to exactly what you've just said, that some of the root causes of municipal dysfunction, shall we call it, is in fact this issue of political instability.
Yes, political instability we found has delayed service delivery in several areas. In Emfuleni, yes, there's some political instability. However, I think the key question there is really about leadership and ensuring that difficult decisions are made and to stabilize the administration. And political instability has resulted in a place like Lesedi, where the municipal manager finally, who did not want to do what the council said because it was illegal, was eventually fired, so to speak.
Yeah.
And somebody else brought in. So there is political instability across the province. And we are saying how that needs to be addressed. In the case of Emfuleni, they need to develop a strategic direction that deals with the problems and then prioritize those problems and deal with them case by case until you are able to get to the root of the problem. And it may take some time. The additional problem in the bar is that since the 90s, the major economic factor in that area, ISCOR, was privatized. They then changed the way they did their manufacturing of the steel that is there, and changed what they did. And as a consequence, they had 14,000 employees, and now only have between 3,000 or so employees. And as a consequence, the economic situation in that area has gone down dramatically in the last 20 or so years.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at, again, what your report says, at the party level, it says political instability is a leading cause of this dysfunction. In Gauteng's 11 municipalities, in fact, only 2 out of the 11 municipalities in the province are actually thought of as functional. I mean, that's damning.
Yes, I mean, we were shocked to find that in some municipalities, they pass what is called unfunded budgets, which means that the expenditure is greater than the amount of revenue that they would receive. And that situation is illegal, yet the council passes that budget and does not hold the executive to account. So we've said that the province needs to intervene in those areas and provide support to ensure that there is leadership. In the case of Emfuleni and another municipality, Rand West, they have outsourced their revenue collection. And in what we have found is that revenue collection is actually on current revenue, which is illegal. And in the one case, we found that the amount of revenue that was collected was less than, after outsourcing, was less than what they had achieved during when they were doing it themselves. And we said to the province they must intervene and address those contracts, because we think that contract may, in fact, even be illegal.
Yeah. I mean, Trevor, your report summarizes a whole range of interventions that now need to be put in place to try and get the situation under control. In the meantime, people in areas like Emfuleni have to struggle with issues like sewage coming out of your sink. I mean, that's difficult to stomach at 6 o'clock in the morning. But you talk about issues like we need to look into leadership issues, accountability issues, oversight, and again, political instability. At what level do we implement these solutions so that it trickles down to people's everyday lives?
Well, let me say there are some positive aspects to this, in that the province, COCTA and MEC Maele, has developed a plan that they see as, and they've started initiating the interventions that we have suggested and the recommendations that we've made, and they plan to do these interventions by June or so, and thereafter follow up and ensure for the rest of the year that they're able to correct many of the matters that we have raised. So in that sense, we think that there is some light at the end of the tunnel to at least recognition that there is a problem, and we have laid out very clearly in each one of the cases that we found what the recommendations are and how to address these problems.
Yeah, it's a big story that we'll continue to keep a close eye on. Trevor, thanks very much for your time this morning. Thanks for coming onto the show. Trevor Fowler, Professor at the Wits School of Governance, as we continue to look at, in particular, the state of municipalities in Gauteng. 2 out of 11 municipalities in the province are considered to be functional.